I'm going to make something. This is what I'm going to make. So it's going to be this little piece, but not quite so mangled, in aluminium. And that's what I'm going to do over here. Got a piece of aluminium on here. I've got files, I've got vernier and bits over there, I've got a pen. I'm going to Dremel a lot of it. I shall saw the main bulk of it out, but first things first, I need to drill that little hole, which I shall do and then move on. So I've started off by marking where that hole goes, so I shall drill that. This little thing here, I can't buy, I can't find it anywhere. If I buy the whole of the case, 9 times out of 10 they seem to be disappeared, because that's the bit that people need. So I'm going to make an aluminium one. Haven't got a clue what the plastic is, so that bit, I mean, you can see how mangled and chewed up it is from people taking the case apart. So that bit fits in there, and it has to shape around this little groove and sit on the other side of that. I'll just show you around the other side. That fits around the other side. That corner there is square, and it sits, if I can just get this on here, it sits approximately there with a little groove sat in there on that piece of metal just there. So there's my hole, beautifully done. Right, so now I'll draw on the shape of this, draw it on, cut out the rough shape. There's a lot of shaping to do because there's this groove on the top, there's a hole on the top there, and there's a big groove on the back and a big cutout here. So trusty Dremel will come into play on this, and I shall take you along with the ride. Right. So that's cut that piece off, that's scrap, go up out of the way. So now I've got to make that into that. You can see the rough outline of what I've done, but that's got to be Dremeled out. There's a little bit of texture on the top here, just a little bit of shaping there that I can do. I will try and make it as exact as I can to the original. On the inside here, there's this whole cavity to cut out. So I've started off by cutting lots of grooves, and then I shall chop each of those little bits out because it's quite a complicated shape to get round the engine case, and it needs to be pretty precise. So that's just roughing out, just taking chunks out. Now I shall go on to a bit more detailed cutting. just gradually getting there. That's the shape that it is at the moment. This is the shape that it's going to be. You can see it's getting very close. The hole just needs opening out a little bit more. Need to make the grooves and stuff. This bit here is still just a little bit. That's at 7.5mm, and this on that narrow point just here, where it is actually still about the same size as it should be, that is 7mm. So I've got about 0.5mm to take off there over that whole length, but it's just taken a long time because it's sort of a slow process. I had a grinding wheel on it for a little while, been filing bits and using a Dremel. Pretty much everything that you touch with aluminium, it just blocks up a file. I mean, it's horrible stuff to try and grind down, but it's getting there slowly, bit by bit. So it's not quite finished, but that now fits on. It needs a little bit of refining, needs just a little bit taken out at the back inside. I'll show that in a second, but it kind of fits around this guide here. This is where the oil guides into the bearing. Yeah, the back corner here just needs neatening up. That's still got a little bit of stuff to take out of, but it's getting there. I think I'm going to give up for now because my Dremel's got too hot. But it needs just a bit of finesse, just neatening up, and then it'll be done. So exciting things have happened. I've now got this one nearly the right shape on the top. There's still this little groove to cut out there, a little scoop, and there's a little dent. Oh, can't see that there. A little dent on the plastic there. You might be able to see it, but there. That goes around a little bit of shaping on the oil channel on the case, so I've still got to do that just here. It's just like a little half moon cutout. So a little bit more detail to do here, and then on the other side I've just started cutting the channel, which will be this. I've got to cut this chunk out here, and then I've got to cut this channel, so I'm just cutting this wall first, and then I'll cut the other wall, and then there'll be just a little bit more shaping to do, taking a bit more thickness off here. But that has got to be done once this channel here is done. That's a 2.5mm tunnel basically through there, and then this end being cut off. Most of it's being done by the Dremel. I had a little bit of time on a grinding wheel just taking chunks off, but Dremel's doing it. It's just getting hot, so I thought I'd give it a rest and have a little talk. So yeah, it's coming along. Another half hour, that'll be done. So there we have it. One finished aluminium oil drain thing. So that was the original. This is the new one. It's all shaped. It fits on the case. It's taken me a lot longer than I thought it would, because getting the aluminium thin enough to fit in the case is difficult. But yeah, it's all done. All fits. I've had the case together, so that's all good. Bye.